Hey, good morning, everybody. We're doing Joshua number 7 today. This is right after Israel has taken Jericho, and now they're looking at Ai. And so Joshua goes ahead and sends out some spies out there, and the spies say, "Hey, there's not a lot of people there. Send a few thousand." So they do. They send a few thousand to go conquer Ai, and the Bible says that 36 of the Israelites get killed, of the Israel warriors get killed, and, well, they turn around and they run away. So, they don't take Ai. So Joshua and the priests, they come to the Lord and say, "God, why have you done this? Why didn't you just keep us where we were at? We were happy there. And now we're here, and all the other enemies are going to hear this and come after us, that we can be defeated." And God replies to him. He says in verse 11, "Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken some of the accursed things, and have both stolen and deceived, and they have also put it among their own stuff." If you remember yesterday, God said, after beating Jericho, he said, "Don't pick up anything that the enemy has left behind." And here we see that one of the Israelites, Achan, if I pronounce his name right, has picked up some of this stuff. He then goes on to say in verse 13, "You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you." 15, "He who has taken with the accursed thing shall be burned with fire." And if you read on, you see that Achan coveted this stuff here, and so that was his sin. But how do we apply this? How do we apply this in our lives today? Here's how we apply it in our lives today. If we are living in sin, okay, and yes, the Bible does say that that we cannot sin, okay, understood that. We're going to heaven, but we still, sin causes an issue in our lives when we are operating in covetousness, when we are operating in lust, when we are operating in gossip, when we are operating in all these things. What ends up happening is that we pay attention to the enemy, and we're not able to hear the voice of God clearly. Okay, so you see that an Old Testament story with a New Testament application. Okay, God does not want this sin in your life because, yes, He has saved you from it. Past, future, present sins saved. Okay, but in order to be effective in your battle against the enemy, you cannot be sleeping with him. You cannot be doing his things, because you are to be attacking him, not joining him. I hope that makes sense. And God goes on to say that those things here in verse 15 will be burned off. And you think about it. When we come before Jesus and we get it before the judgment seat of Christ, all those things that were done in the wrong motive and all those things that were done that are evil will be burned away, gone. And you'll be standing there before him, left with only the good you have allowed him to do through you, that he has called you to do. We don't get to pick and choose the good. You see, God has a plan and a purpose for our lives. Read Jeremiah. He'll tell you all about it, 29:11. He has a plan and a purpose for our lives. We don't really get to choose it. He just wants us to choose him and then trust him that he has the best plan and purpose for us. So all of this stuff will be burned off. What are you going to be left with? You don't want your valley, you don't want your life to be called the Valley of Achor, as this is here. You don't want your life to be called a valley, because that's all the lower things. That's all the low-level stuff. You want your life to be called a mountain. The mountain of Dadi means we have built a kingdom for God, and he has called it a mountain, not a valley. So I love you all. I hope you have a super day.